One incident in particular stands out. During his campaign in 1992, Bill Clinton promised a middle-class tax cut. After his election, President Clinton quickly retracted his promise. Kelly's anti-tax advocacy fires were stoked. Clinton was to appear at Chicago's Sheraton Hotel, and he was about to get a rare dose of Chicago conservative activism.
It was billed as a town hall meeting. I decided that I was going to go and ask a question about a broken campaign promise of a middle-class tax cut. So that's what I did.
If Kelly's face looks familiar, it might be from this encounter with President Clinton in 1993 at a town meeting in Chicago.
This is not your meeting, sir. And most people have better manners than interrupt somebody giving a speech.
Notice, by the way, that when the president's faced with a heckler, it's never a concerned citizen asking a question about the way the president intends to rape us with his tax plan, but rather it's always a heckler. And that's what America needs more of, a little more civility. Yeah, like the way Robert Bork was treated, and the way Clarence Thomas was treated, Mr. Clinton, a little bit more civility.
So that's what happened. Sure enough, I went home, and I was actually watching World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. And let me tell you, he was a very dapper anchor man with the pocket handkerchief and the pinky ring, and he was, they were showing some of that footage from the town hall meeting, and there I was asking that question. And I thought, you know what, that's great. I asked a question that the media wasn't going to ask.
But that was not the end of it. 3 hours later, federal agents arrived at Kelly's home, put him in handcuffs, and took him to the Metropolitan Correctional Center, or the Black Hole of Chicago as some call it, where he was interrogated and strip-searched, and as he tells it, spent the next 27 hours moving from a solitary cell to the federal lockup with drug dealers and bank robbers in handcuffs and leg irons.
And let me tell you something. Every young man should spend at least one night in jail. You will learn the value of freedom. They brought me into the courtroom the very next day, and they read out loud a sentence that I will never forget. The United States of America versus William J. Kelly. And I thought, there is something seriously wrong with this. There was no Fox News channel at that time. I wish that there was. I would have been on every show. But there was other conservative media, the National Review in particular, stood up for me, and I'll never forget that.
The National Review wrote an article called Rebel with a Cause, spotlighting Kelly's case as a First Amendment case critical of the Clinton administration for its extreme Big Brother tactics. Other journalists soon took up his cause as well, including the Chicago Sun-Times' Dennis Byrne.
Somebody suggested that I contact my congressman. Well, it turns out my congressman is Bobby Rush, former Black Panther, advocated the violent overthrow of the United States government during the 1960s, advocated the killing the pigs, police officers in his vernacular. And then I thought, you know what, that's it. I think that was honestly the tipping point in my life. So I announced I was running for Congress, and they dropped the charges against me.
In his campaign, Kelly turned his activist tactics on the former Black Panther defense minister turned congressman himself, and uncovered more than $50,000 in back taxes, unpaid child support, and unpaid parking tickets. Issues that the liberal media would have ignored but for Kelly's activism.
It was not the media event Congressman Bobby Rush had in mind.
He shows his disrespect for these people who are standing up beside him because he doesn't even care about them enough to pay his own federal income taxes.
I'm biting at the bit to respond to those allegations. I'm eager to respond to those allegations. But it won't be right here today. It'll be on a future date.
Many will be watching this race for Congress closely tomorrow in the South Side's 1st District to see how big the turnout will be and just how strong Republican challenger Bill Kelly will run. He is the one who has brought all of this to